Hello, my name is John Verlinden. Welcome to my home here in Brookline, Massachusetts. I'm going to make some beef empanadas today. Beef empanadas are a wonderful treat. They're little pastries that are filled with a delicious filling. Today we're going to make beef empanadas, and these beef empanadas are made with a picadillo filling. Picadillo is as different as every cook. Every cook has their own recipe for picadillo, so I hope you'll enjoy mine. We're going to start with some ground beef, and I'm going to start that in my pan, and we're going to brown that ground beef, and then we're going to add our spices and vegetables to that. Now, to that ground beef, I'm going to add an onion, chopped onion, chopped green pepper, and minced garlic. I call these three vegetables the tres amigos because in Cuban cuisine they are an essential part of almost every savory dish. And so we'll get those started. I'll give that a good stir. I have the heat at about medium high to start. We're going to turn that down. And to that, I'm going to add some dry spices, some black pepper, some cumin, and some dried leaf oregano. And we're going to let that cook just until the ground beef is done and everything is brown. Probably take about 10 minutes. I'm going to cover that to kind of hasten its browning. Okay, we're ready now to add our other ingredients. Our beef is brown. I've drained it, and we can see how much fat that we got off of that, even though this is an 85-15 ground beef mix. Now, if you really want to eliminate as much fat as possible, what you can do is brown the meat separately, and then actually put it in a colander and rinse it, and then put it back on the stove and begin adding the other ingredients. But this is well drained, and we can proceed. Now I'm going to add the things that really give picadillo its kick and make it a wonderfully savory dish, and that is these are pitted green olives, raisins, and tomato sauce. I love dishes that have that juxtaposition of flavors, the salty and the sweet together. Makes for a really interesting taste on your tongue, and really thrills your senses. So I'm going to give that a good stir, and then once we've got everything mixed up, I'm going to cover that and let that cook for about 15 minutes. Our filling is ready. It's cool now, cool enough to work with. What I've got here are discos that I purchased. You can find them in any Hispanic specialty store or in the international aisle at the supermarket in the frozen foods. These, I'm going to make a couple of different sizes. I'm going to make large ones, which are great for like lunch in lieu of a sandwich. And then I'm also going to make appetizer-sized ones for little hors d'oeuvres. All I've done is cut the big empanada skin into 4 little parts. And so let's make a big one here. I'm just going to make a few to show you how I do it, but know that the recipe will make many more. So I'm going to fill that up pretty full. And then I'm just going to push the filling back and bring the top layer down. And I'm going to seal the edge of that by pressing those two together. And then I'm going to come along and I'm going to fold over the bottom layer over the top. Just using my index finger and thumb, following my finger around the edge of the empanada to seal it. You can see it makes a very attractive thing. I'm going to put that on a baking sheet that's been prepared with parchment paper. And I'm also going to show you an alternative way to seal it in case I've been crimping these a while, so I know it's something that takes a little time to develop that. But a quick and easy way is to crimp the edges with a fork. So that's what we're going to do to seal this one. And you also, to make it a little easier, you might want to add a little less filling. I like my empanadas really stuffed full, so but it makes it a little more difficult to seal. But you can use that fork just to go around the edge. And I bake my empanadas. These could be fried at this point, which is probably the most traditional way. But by baking them it's a little healthier. And also, what I like about it is that I like empanadas cold or at room temperature. And if they're baked, they taste great at room temperature. Whereas if they're fried, they have that that kind of oily taste and texture. Okay. Now we're going to do some small ones. These are ideal for appetizers. It's a really nice appetizer. I'm using a really small scoop here for this. It's just a 1 ounce scoop. And it's about a tablespoon. And that's ideal for these. And these I pick up and hold, and you want to pull the edge of the skin around that so you get a nice seal. And then the same crimping around the edge. See, a nice little bite-sized treat. And similarly, this can be finished with the fork. If you prefer. Okay, now that we've got a few of these assembled, I'm going to put them in our oven. I've preheated it to 350 degrees, and they're going to go in for about 20 minutes. But keep an eye on them, especially the smaller ones, as they may cook a little more quickly. All right, our empanadas are out of the oven, and they're ready to serve. The big ones make a wonderful lunch, and the little ones wonderful for a cocktail party or appetizers.